What's up, Yang Gang? So today we're going to talk about Joe Exotic. We got a huge Joe Exotic update.
Joe Exotic.
But before we get into that, make sure that you hit that like button. Joe Exotic, the Tiger King.
Big thing during the pandemic, a year or so ago, just huge.
Blew up. I think everybody in the United States has probably seen the Tiger King at least one time.
Or heard about it.
And if you haven't, Joe Exotic was convicted of attempting to trying to hire a hitman to murder a woman named Carol Baskin, who was his rival throughout their whole ordeal.
Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin. Okay, I have my theories on, the whole Carol Baskin thing, whether she killed her husband or not. I think she did. I think you did it.
We
Carol
all
Baskin.
do. Come on.
We all think you did it. You are so hated by America for putting Joe Exotic in prison.
We need more Joe Exotic content.
He is just a colorful character, right? And I've always had a kind of a soft spot for Joe Exotic. Do I think he was horrible? Yeah, on a whole lot of levels.
But the thing that makes what we call an anti-hero, like someone you still want to get behind. But think of the movie Bad Santa. Like, you're still rooting for the main character, but he's a horrible guy. But because he has a glimmer of humanity, you want to get behind him, There's something redeeming there. So I say Joe Exotic is an anti-hero.
And an anti-hero would be a very, very good way to put it. So what does this have to do with us?
Right.
Well, for those of you who aren't familiar, there is a journalist, an awesome journalist, I might add, who works for the Denver Courthouse News. And she interviewed us during the Andrew Yang campaign, early. This was when we were still in North Carolina. Well, last night on Twitter, I noticed in her Twitter feed, she had tweeted out an article that was done by one of her co-workers at the Denver Courthouse News about Joe Exotic. And for whatever reason, had just put out who would like to interview Joe Exotic. No context, really, nothing.
Who wants to interview him?
Just who wants to interview him? So I was like, I was kind of tongue-in-cheek. I was like, I would love that interview. Because, one, I'm such a fan of the series and a fan of Joe Exotic and the anti-hero. I was like, I would love to have it. Well, when I woke up and I was checking all of my social media, I think a lot of you are familiar with doing that. Check your social media first thing you get up.
Oh, it's a terrible addiction.
Horrible. I noticed that there were a couple messages in my inbox. She said that she would love to see that interview. And we chatted for a moment, and I am now in possession of all of the documents for Joe Exotic's ongoing appeal. Oddly enough, his appeals attorney is in Rutland, Vermont, which is an hour or so away from us. So there'll be easy access to get to him. And we are also working towards getting an interview with Joe Exotic from his current location in prison. And this would be not only huge for us as a channel, but I think that this would be huge in general, because maybe he would be able to get some of his part of the story out.
Because for some reason, the press is not allowing him to get the full story out. I don't know why that is. Knowing how popular the show was, they are not interviewing him and letting the whole story come out, his side,
And I think that in itself is an injustice, because anytime that you want to control the flow of information and not have all of the story, how can you consider yourself in full possession of the facts? And if you're not in full possession of the facts, how can you pass judgment? So hopefully we will be able to get this interview lined up. There's a lot of hoops that you have to jump through to set something like this up. So this morning I was forwarded all of the pertinent information that we were going to need, all of the court documentation to review and put something together. That she hoped that we got this interview because she knew that we were truth seekers. And I feel like truth is something that's often suppressed in society today. And if we can help get the truth out about Joe Exotic, then I think that's an endeavor worth spending some time on. What do y'all think, Yang Gang? Let us know. Put it in the comments. Share this video out. We love you. See you on the next one.
Always stand on books and stuff.
You want a brick?
No, I'm good.
We'll get one of those bricks.
I'll be as tall as you, and then you'll be like, you can't be as tall as me. It's not happening.
I'm saying, but if you were like this big,
you would be hugging me like this. I shot you in the eye.
Did you see me on the other night? Oh, of course not. You don't. Why don't you ever watch like any of my interviews? I watch my interviews.
I can hear the whole thing.
I watch my interviews like 4 times.
You're so loud, I can hear every word you say. And I don't know, you like watching yourself. I don't want to watch myself. I don't really want to watch anybody.
It's like fighting though, right? You got to go back and you got to watch your fights.
See what you can change.
Yeah, see where you messed up.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I see myself in our videos because I edit them.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's cringy. It's cringy. It's cringy to me.
I just don't understand why you don't support your husband more.
I support you.
By watching
I just
my
don't
interviews.
It's like you're saying stuff and I can hear it all, first of all. But second of all, it's all stuff I've heard before as well. It's just, it is what it is. I'm married to you. I hear it all.
So what you're really saying is that you are fortunate enough to be able to hear these rants firsthand.
To hear your ramblings, yes. I'm so fortunate to hear all your ramblings.
I said rants, not ramblings.
Ramblings. Rants. Same difference. Okay. Let's introduce this video.
Alright.
What's it called? I need a title.
It's called Boys Better Send Me My Hat. That's what it's called.
The moon wobble.
It's gonna be called Joe Exotic.
It's just Joe Exotic. I can't do what you do because I would die of embarrassment.
I have no shame. Alright, you ready?
Okay.
Alright,
That was stupid. That was
stupid.
dumb. Let's start over. We have some poop coming down the pipes.
There's some poop coming down the pipe. But before we get it, to get this interview, and
She just tried to bite me.
look, you ain't gonna be able to be in this video.
Because you just bite and bite and bite and bite. And lick. And you're so cute and big. Oh my goodness.
Weekly puppy update.
Oh my goodness.
Weekly puppy update. Society has a way of like really coming down hard on. Stop bumping the tripod.
Shampoo, shampoo, sha, sha.
Stop tripod.
Now she's all excited. Good job. Good job getting her excited.
Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snacking. What's happening? Carol Baskin.